Okay, this is piece 169 wall plaque from Oba's Palace. It is created by the Edo peoples who had the kingdom of Benin in Western Africa, which is modern day country of Nigeria. And this plaque was made in the 16th century, in the 1500s, and it is made of cast brass. There are two images associated to this piece. One is the actual wall plaque, and the other is a contextual piece where you can see the Oba. This attire is the attire being mimicked in our piece, and the stance here of his attendants holding these shields over him is also being shown in this wall plaque. So contextual and wall plaque. Here is the space that would have been the kingdom of Benin in modern day Nigeria. This is Edward II. Edward II is the 40th Oba or king of the Edo peoples, and he was sworn in 2016. So he is different from this man, the former Oba, and that's because this class was created in 2015, and so they used that image of the prior Oba. Okay, so the context further going on here is that the Portuguese who came down the coast of Africa, they brought fire coral with them that was taken from the ocean, and the people of Benin traded for that. They sent out leopard skins, stone beads, pepper, ivory, and slaves in exchange for this coral. And you can see the Oba wearing this same coral outfit today as was worn back in the 1500s. The Portuguese also brought, in addition to fire coral, they brought these bracelets that are called Manila bracelets. The bracelets were melted down, and they were what the wall plaque was made out of. This trade with the Portuguese was so beneficial to the Portuguese and to the Edo peoples that everybody wanted in on it. And so the British, 50 years later, were knocking on the door of the Kingdom of Benin to engage in trade. Now, the Edo peoples wanted to trade with the Portuguese, and you can see here this wall plaque commemorates a Portuguese trader. And then over here, you see two Portuguese traders in the back of this wall plaque of an Oba. So the trade was beneficial on both sides. And here is a Dutch traveler's rendition of the city of Benin from the Kingdom of Benin. And you can see this is a vibrant city. Here is a whole military retinue following the Oba. So this was a powerful kingdom. And what brought them power, in addition to just their own strength prior to the European arrival, was the weapons that the Portuguese also traded with the Edo peoples, excuse me. So the British wanted in on this trade, and in 1897, the British sent an expedition of soldiers into the interior city of Benin. And when those soldiers arrived at the city, there was a conflict, and 8 British soldiers were killed. So the British responded with greater force, and they sent a military expedition in to wipe out the city of Benin. They burned it to the ground. They destroyed the palace, and they took all of the artifacts and art with them. So you see here the traders that are surrounded by all of these ivory tusks. And then here is, after the city was ransacked, all of the wall plaques, 900 plus wall plaques were taken out of the Kingdom of Benin, and they were sold to museums and governments across Europe at a profit for the British. And today there are wall plaques from the Oba's Palace at Denver, California, New York, all across Europe as well. So this is the British Museum's holdings. And you can see the wall plaques vary in size. And this is a Portuguese trader here, 2 of them. Our wall plaque is 20 inches by 20 inches, and it has, in terms of form, some consistent features that unite the plaque. So these features that you want to note are that there are 8 people here, but they all have the same eye form. So they have almond-shaped eyes. They have thicker folds on the top and the bottom of the eye. They have the same noses, longer, narrow noses, wider at the bottom. They have the same lips, and they all have these very fancy head coverings, whether those be hairstyles or head coverings, I'm not sure. Each of the attendants has inside straps going across their chests, which is very difficult to do with bronze casting. They have diagonals in their clothing. Notice the elaborate incising going on here on this clothing and underneath the wrap here, just extremely elaborate. So those are unifying features in terms of form in this piece of art. Like then what distinguishes the center figure, who is this piece is very symmetrical in design, but the center figure is the Oba, and what makes him special is that he's got this shell necklace on his chest, and here's the shell. It's the cowrie shell, and that shell was used as a form of money, and it was exchanged for goods. And then also the Oba has got the fire coral necklace. He's also sitting on a horse, and he has 7 attendants around them. In it, that this all distinguishes him as special. And then on the back, I want to also note that there's this geometric form incised into the background. And also here you see this incredible leaf pattern. Those are river leaves. All of this was done with lost wax casting technique, the same technique that was used to create the seated boxer. And then in terms of content, you'll want to note that the hierarchical scale here really shows us the prominence of the Oba, that he's sitting on a horse, so we know a horse is much larger than him, yet the horse is diminished here just to reflect his status in society. And then underneath the Oba's feet is also an attendant. And I think in his hand is a ring, a manila bracelet. Okay, in terms of content, also this contextual photo reinforces what we see in the wall plaque with the attendants holding these rods over the Oba. Same reflection, same neck, or excuse me, chest covering here, necklaces that go around the Oba. In terms of function, this plaque would have been placed inside the palace of the Oba. There are 900 of them, and they were used to display the history of Benin. These plaques would have been placed up on pillars. They would have covered the walls, and because this palace was destroyed and all these plaques were taken out, we don't know the order of the plaques in order to relate the full history of the kingdom of Benin. The current Oba, Edward II, is the 40th Oba in the history that we know of, and so there's a long story to be told. Okay, that is the Edo peoples who had the kingdom of Benin in modern-day Nigeria. This is their wall plaque from their Oba's palace, and it was made in the 1500s when the Portuguese arrived with those manila bracelets. So it's made out of that cast brass.